There comes a moment when the heartbeat slows and silence becomes sacred. A stillness fills the room, as if creation itself is holding its breath. In that fragile space between one heartbeat and the next, something unseen begins to stir. The body rests, but the soul, it begins to awaken. Many have wondered what truly happens when the soul leaves the body. Is it an ending or the beginning of something greater? Stories told across centuries point to a mysterious journey that awaits every human being, a passage filled with beauty, clarity, and awe beyond imagination. In this video, we'll walk through that journey step by step, through the final breath, the light, the review, and the return. Each stage reveals something powerful about life, death, and eternity. And if you feel this message stirring something deep inside you, subscribe to the channel, because what you are about to hear may change how you see everything. Then the dust will return to the earth as it was, and the spirit will return to God who gave it. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7. The room grows quiet. Every movement seems to fade into slow motion, and even the ticking of a clock feels distant. In those final moments, time no longer obeys the rules it once did. There is a gentle unraveling, a soft surrender between the visible and the invisible. The body exhales one last time, but it is not defeat. It is release. Something ancient and sacred passes through the air, unseen yet deeply felt. As the lungs empty and the pulse softens, the soul begins to loosen its hold on the flesh. It is not an abrupt departure. It is more like the tide slowly retreating from the shore. Warmth leaves the fingertips, and the eyes, whether open or closed, seem to gaze far beyond the ceiling. This is the instant when the eternal begins to move. The spirit stirs, sensing that the journey home has begun. Fear often surrounds death because it is the one experience we cannot rehearse. But in truth, Scripture paints it not as terror, but as transition. For those who belong to God, that final breath is not darkness swallowing light. It is light swallowing the last trace of darkness. The Creator who once breathed life into dust now gently draws that breath back into Himself. It is a divine reunion hidden inside what looks like an ending. Loved ones often whisper words of comfort beside the bed, unaware that the soul still hears. Sound reaches beyond the physical ear. It resonates through the spirit like echoes through eternity. Tears fall, hands tremble, yet peace begins to bloom in places grief cannot reach. Angels unseen take their places. Heaven opens the first page of the soul's new story. In those final heartbeats, there is no bargaining left, only truth. All masks fall away, status, pride, and possessions lose meaning. The soul stands bare before the eternal, aware that nothing temporal can follow. It remembers love given and withheld, kindness shown and neglected. This awareness is not condemnation, but awakening. A reminder that what we do in life ripples forever through eternity. Then comes the stillness. The heart stops, yet something continues. A faint vibration hums within, softer than wind, but stronger than silence. The body becomes an empty instrument, yet music still plays somewhere beyond hearing. The spirit, now free from weight and pain, rises like a sigh returning to its source. The dust remains, but the essence ascends. And as we reflect on that final moment, we realize it speaks to us now while breath still fills our lungs. If one day our own final breath will be this sacred exchange, how are we using the breaths we have today? Comment below what this image awakens in you: fear, peace, curiosity, or hope, because every reflection draws us closer to understanding the mystery of that last holy breath. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. James chapter 2, verse 26. The instant the final breath leaves the lungs, the separation quietly unfolds. It does not happen with thunder or chaos, but with a softness that human language can barely describe. A vibration, almost musical, hums deep within the being. The soul begins to loosen its ties, threads of energy unweaving from every cell. The person once bound by flesh senses a subtle pull, like the current beneath calm water. What was once heavy now feels impossibly light. Pain fades first. The sharp edges of suffering dull into distant memory. Fear follows, melting into a peace that feels both unfamiliar and profoundly natural. The soul realizes it is no longer confined by the body's limits. No pulse to measure, no breath to count. It perceives everything, not through eyes or ears, but through awareness itself. Darkness does not descend. Instead, light begins to bloom from within, as if the spirit were remembering what it always was. For those who have witnessed this transition, nurses, loved ones, or believers in prayer, there is often a shared sensation. The atmosphere shifts. The air feels charged, sacred, like the room itself has exhaled. What our eyes call death, heaven calls awakening. The separation is not cruel, it is precise, orchestrated, full of gentleness. The Creator's hand guides even this unseen moment, ensuring that no soul is lost in the crossing. Scripture's truth echoes here. Life and spirit cannot be severed by mere mortality. The physical frame may cease, but identity, memory, and essence remain untouched. God, who shaped the spirit before the first heartbeat, now receives it back through this graceful detachment. What feels like ending to those who watch is, to the departing soul, a beginning too vast to comprehend. The boundaries of time and space dissolve like mist before sunrise. Some souls describe hearing a tone, others a still voice calling them home. There is no fear in that call, only recognition, the way a child knows the sound of its parent even in the dark. The pull upward grows stronger, drawing them through layers unseen yet deeply real. Around them, the physical world fades like a reflection on water disturbed by the wind. Ahead, something brighter waits. Though its light does not blind, it embraces. At this stage, some glimpse both worlds at once. They see loved ones weeping and angels watching silently. They feel torn, yet there is peace in the surrender. Each heartbeat of light carries them closer to their true origin. The soul is neither pushed nor dragged. It chooses willingly to move toward the presence that feels like home. The separation is not a tearing, it is a remembering of who we have always been beneath skin and shadow. And as you listen now, take a breath and realize that every day is a rehearsal for this sacred release. Life itself is practice in letting go, of control, of pride, of fear. If this truth moves something within you, let it settle deep in your heart, and like this video, as a sign that you, too, are learning to trust the gentle hands that will one day carry you from body to eternity. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 8. The moment the soul fully detaches, a strange clarity floods the senses. It is as if the world below slows to a dreamlike stillness. The body that once felt so essential now lies silent, fragile, almost foreign. Yet the person, the true self, is more awake than ever. Every sound, every heartbeat of those nearby becomes visible, as if emotion itself had color and shape. The soul hovers, aware of its body yet no longer bound by it. From above, perspective changes entirely. The one who has departed watches loved ones cry, hold hands, whisper prayers, and cling to what remains. There is sorrow, but not from the soul. It sees beyond the pain. It understands that the body was only the vessel, the temporary garment for a journey now complete. The soul longs to comfort those below, to say, I am here, I am free, don't fear this passage. But words no longer exist, only presence, pure, unspoken understanding. Many who have come close to death describe this same serene detachment. They say that walls become transparent, light moves through everything, and distance loses meaning. They can move simply by thought, glide effortlessly through rooms, even outside, watching their surroundings from angles no human eye could reach. It is not imagination, it is awareness unchained. The veil between the seen and unseen thins until everything feels connected by invisible light. At first, some souls resist, trying to return to the motionless body. They push, they plead, but find they no longer fit. Their hands pass through matter like mist through glass. Panic rises for a moment, then fades as peace reclaims the heart. They realize death has not destroyed them, it has revealed them. What they are now cannot decay or bleed or break. They are spirit, luminous and alive, seeing not with eyes, but with knowing. Then comes the revelation of divine perspective. The soul notices not just its own form but others, beings of light, gentle and watchful. They seem familiar, though faces blur into radiance. Perhaps they are angels, or perhaps fragments of God's mercy taking visible form. The soul understands without words that it is safe, seen, and loved beyond measure. The fear of the unknown melts into awe at what the unknown truly is: home. This stage reveals an eternal truth. Life does not end, it expands. We spend years fearing the final moment, yet when it comes, the view from above teaches that we were never truly separate from heaven. Every act of love, every prayer whispered, every tear shed was already part of that divine landscape. From this height, judgment disappears, and only love remains, shimmering across all creation like sunlight on water. If these words awaken something in you, curiosity, wonder, maybe even peace, pause for a moment. Life's greatest truths are not found in books or temples, but in moments of awareness like this. Let this reminder reach deeper than fear, deeper than doubt. And if you want to continue exploring the mysteries of the soul and eternity, subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next step on this sacred journey beyond the veil. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 18. A glow begins to form at the edges of perception, soft at first, then radiant. It does not come from the outside, it blooms from within and ahead at once, a magnetic brilliance calling the soul forward. The light is alive, not blinding but tender, folding around the spirit like warmth after endless winter. The soul feels itself drawn into a current of brightness, a corridor made not of space, but of presence. The tunnel opens, and the journey continues. Inside this passage, colors exist beyond human vocabulary. The light hums with tones that sound like memory and peace blended together. Every pulse of illumination carries meaning, as if the very language of heaven were woven into its rays. The deeper the soul moves, the less it remembers pain, fear, or regret. Identity remains, but all heaviness dissolves. What lies ahead is not judgment or demand. It is welcome. Some describe this tunnel as infinite, others as a heartbeat long. Time has no authority here. Everything happens in one continuous moment of awe. Scenes from life may flash along its walls, faces, smiles, acts of kindness, moments of grace, each one glowing with divine purpose. It is not a replay, but a revelation. Every instant of love was a thread leading here. The light shows that nothing beautiful was ever wasted. At times, the soul senses figures within the radiance, forms moving like silhouettes made of flame and gold. They do not speak, yet their silence communicates belonging. Each step, if such a thing exists, draws the traveler closer to a center too bright to behold. The tunnel seems to sing, and that song is recognition, the spirit finally remembering its source. This is not escape from life, it is entry into reality itself. There is an overwhelming awareness that love permeates everything. The light does not measure worth, it heals. It does not demand answers, it understands. The soul realizes that this is what it sought in every earthly embrace, every prayer, every sunrise. All longings converge here, fulfilled without condition. The farther one goes, the clearer it becomes that the destination is not a place, but a presence. For those watching from the earthly side, the body lies still, but around it the unseen realm blazes with this same golden current. The tunnel of light touches both worlds, bridging heaven and humanity for a breath of eternity. In that moment, the veil between the divine and the mortal thins to a thread. What was once mystery becomes memory written in light. And now, as you picture that radiant passage, let it remind you that even in your darkest seasons, light is already waiting to break through. It calls each of us, not to fear the end, but to walk toward grace daily while life remains. Comment below what this vision awakens in you: hope, peace, or wonder. Your words might be the light someone else needs to find their way. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each of us may receive what is due us for the things done while in the body, whether good or bad. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 10. As the soul moves through the light, the scenery shifts from brightness to remembrance. Images begin to form, not scattered memories, but a living panorama of an entire life. Every word spoken, every decision made, every act of love or harm returns like waves against the shore. The soul does not watch as a stranger, but as one who feels everything again, both the joy it created and the pain it caused. This is the life review. Not punishment, but revelation. Time ceases to exist. What once took years unfolds in moments, yet each instant feels eternal. The soul sees how small choices rippled outward, touching hearts it never knew, altering destinies in silence. It perceives the hidden weight of kindness, the smile that saved someone's hope, the prayer whispered in solitude, the forgiveness given when none was deserved. Each good act radiates light, and that light becomes part of the soul's own brightness. Then come the shadows, the harsh words, the betrayals, the neglect of love. But there is no divine voice condemning. Instead, the soul experiences those moments from the eyes of those it hurt. It feels their sadness, their loneliness, their wounds. This is not vengeance. It is divine empathy, a lesson written in compassion. God's justice here is not about punishment, but truth. Every seed planted, good or evil, grows and returns to its sower. In this review, the soul understands that God never demanded perfection, only sincerity. The measure was never success, but love. Even the smallest act done with a pure heart shines brighter than entire years lived in pride. Tears may fall, not from fear, but from gratitude. For now the soul finally comprehends mercy. The same light that exposes also heals, transforming regret into wisdom. For some, this realization is overwhelming. They see how many chances were missed to love better, to forgive sooner, to speak life instead of bitterness. Yet the presence of God remains gentle, offering redemption even in memory. The soul recognizes that divine grace had been guiding all along. Through failure, loss, and even silence, the life review becomes not a courtroom, but a classroom of eternal truth. When the final scene fades, the soul stands in perfect understanding. Every moment of existence was sacred, every breath a gift, every encounter a chance to mirror heaven. What once seemed meaningless now glows with purpose. The soul bows, not in shame but in awe, whispering, "Now I see." It is the ultimate unveiling, to know that love was always the reason from beginning to end. And now, as you reflect on this divine mirror, let it speak to your own journey. If your life were shown before you today, what light would it reveal? What wounds could still be healed by forgiveness? Comment below what this reflection stirs in your heart, remorse, gratitude, or renewal, because in sharing, you awaken that same truth in others walking beside you. For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. Psalm 91 verse 11. After the soul has seen its life in full, silence returns, a peace deeper than any language. Out of that stillness, shapes of light begin to emerge. They are not solid as bodies, yet more real than anything ever seen on earth. These are the guides, spiritual beings whose presence feels like home itself. They carry no weapons, no commands, only compassion. Their very being radiates love, and in their gaze the soul remembers its divine origin. At first, the soul may wonder if these forms are angels or familiar faces from long ago. Their outlines shift between recognition and mystery. Some resemble loved ones who have passed. Others glow with a beauty too ancient to name. They speak, but not with sound. Each thought becomes communion, a flow of understanding that bypasses words entirely. There is no question they cannot answer, because here, knowledge and love are the same. The guides do not judge or rule, they accompany. They show gently the path the soul has traveled and the next horizon waiting ahead. Their role is to illuminate, not to force. Like shepherds leading without ropes, they guide by resonance, by awakening remembrance rather than imposing direction. The soul senses their joy at its return, their deep patience through every lifetime of learning. These are not strangers. They have walked beside us unseen since our first breath. Each guide radiates a different aspect of divine mercy. One may embody courage, another wisdom, another forgiveness. Together, they form a chorus of presence surrounding the traveler. Their light is familiar because part of it has always lived within. They are living proof that none walk alone, even in death's shadow. The spirit understands that every whisper of conscience, every nudge toward good, was often their voice calling from beyond. Some souls ask if they are worthy to stand among such beings. The answer is always the same. You have always been loved. No sin, no failure, no darkness can extinguish that truth. The guides show how even pain and error became tools for awakening. They do not erase the past, they transmute it. In their presence, shame cannot breathe. Only gratitude remains, expanding like light through crystal. For a moment, the soul and its guides simply exist together in stillness. Communication becomes communion, and the boundaries between self and eternity dissolve. The traveler feels embraced not by arms, but by purpose. It realizes that guidance never ceased, not in childhood prayers, not in silent despair, not in the hour of death. The same hands that now lead it have always been there, invisible yet faithful. As you picture this sacred encounter, remember that guidance surrounds you even now, in intuition, in compassion, in the quiet voice that points toward good. The same love that greets the soul beyond waits for you here. Comment below if you have ever felt protected by something unseen, or if this vision reminds you that you were never walking alone. To depart and be with Christ is far better. Nevertheless, to remain in the flesh is more needful for you. Philippians chapter 1, verses 23 and 24. At the edge of eternity, the soul stands in breathtaking serenity. Before it stretches an ocean of light, limitless, welcoming, irresistible. The peace there surpasses comprehension. It is not merely the absence of pain, but the presence of perfect love. The spirit feels complete for the first time, free from the weight of flesh and the noise of fear. And yet, somewhere distant, faint as an echo, the cries of loved ones reach across the divide. That sound pierces the stillness. It is not sorrow alone, it is love calling out through time and space. The soul turns, sensing the threads that still connect it to the world below. Images appear, a child's face, a mother's prayer, a promise yet unfulfilled. Heaven asks no demand, imposes no rule. The choice is given freely. To remain in the brilliance or to return where time still flows. Few choices are so heavy and so sacred. The guides do not pressure, they wait. They radiate understanding that transcends words. They show the path ahead if the soul continues, the peace eternal, the reunion with those who have gone before, the closeness of God unbroken by distance. Yet beside that vision they reveal another, the faces still waiting in the world, the hearts that could still be changed, the purposes not yet complete. Love exists in both realms, but in one, it still needs to be lived. Some souls hesitate, torn between longing and duty. The light calls gently, yet the memory of unfinished love anchors them to earth. They realize that even paradise cannot replace purpose. To return is to accept pain again, limitation again, forgetting again, but also to bring back wisdom that can awaken others. The decision is not a punishment, but a mission born of compassion. When the soul chooses to return, it happens in an instant. No tunnel this time, only a breath. The brilliance folds inward, the vibration lowers, and the spirit feels the weight of matter once more. It re-enters the body like dawn entering a dark room. The first heartbeat feels like thunder, the first inhale like a storm of life. Around, doctors shout, machines beep, loved ones cry. No one knows that a miracle has just taken place. Awakening is disorienting. The memory of light fades quickly, veiled by human limitation, but traces remain. An unshakable peace, a changed gaze, a love that now sees eternity in everything. Those who return carry that secret silence within them. They no longer speak of death with fear, but with reverence, for they have seen that what lies beyond is not ending, but fulfillment, waiting for its time. As you hear this, reflect. If you were offered the same choice, what would you decide? To stay in eternal peace, or return for love yet unfinished? Let that question stir something deeper than words. Comment below what you believe your heart would choose, because even in pondering it, you honor the sacred link between earth and eternity. He who hears my word and believes him who sent me has eternal life and will not be judged, but has crossed over from death to life. John chapter 5, verse 24. Those who return from the edge of eternity awaken as if reborn. The air feels heavier, the body slower, the senses dim compared to the brilliance just left behind. Yet within, something luminous remains, a peace that cannot be shaken. The world seems both familiar and utterly new. Colors carry deeper meaning, silence feels sacred, and every human face reflects a spark of the divine. They realize they have touched the eternal, and it has marked them forever. Fear of death dissolves. How could they fear what they now know to be love's doorway? Instead of dreading the end, they cherish each moment of living. Simple things, rain on glass, a child's laughter, a stranger's kindness, shine like jewels of grace. Gratitude replaces complaint. Compassion replaces pride. Having glimpsed eternity, they understand that the purpose of life is not to escape pain, but to love through it until love becomes the only truth. Many find that their priorities shift completely. Wealth, fame, and power lose their shine. Connection, forgiveness, and mercy take their place. They no longer argue about which religion is right, but seek the essence behind them all, the living presence of God. They know that heaven is not just a destination, but a way of being that can begin here. Each act of kindness, each prayer whispered for another, becomes a continuation of the light they saw beyond. They also carry a quiet sadness, the longing for the home they once touched. Yet this longing does not cripple. It motivates. It reminds them that every breath on earth is a mission to reflect that eternal love. When they comfort the grieving or lift the hopeless, they feel heaven drawing near again. In every act of grace, they glimpse the same radiance that once surrounded them in the tunnel of light. People around them notice the difference. Their words carry calm, their eyes seem deeper, their presence feels healing. They speak of life as sacred and of time as precious. Some listen in awe, others doubt, but all sense something real beyond description. These returning souls are living bridges, proof that death does not end the story but reveals its true author. Through them, eternity whispers to the world, there is more. And though human memory fades, the essence never does. In moments of stillness, they feel the same warmth that welcomed them before, reminding them that heaven is not far away, but intertwined with every heartbeat. They live with one foot on earth and one in eternity, guided by a purpose few can name, but many can feel. Their testimony becomes a light for those still afraid of the unknown. If this message touched your spirit, let it remind you that life and eternity are one continuous journey of love. The breath you take now is already part of forever. Don't let fear steal the wonder of what awaits beyond. Keep walking in light, live fully, and when your time comes, walk peacefully into the arms of God. And if this truth resonates with your heart, subscribe to the channel so that more souls can awaken to the hope that death is not the end, but the beginning of everything.